here, but I don't really know where here is. I don't really know where the hotel's at. If it is a hotel, I don't know where the family I'm staying with is at. It's literally just a courtyard. It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Everybody say
They say growth happens outside of your comfort zone, but no one mentions how far outside it might be, like 3,000 miles away in a jungle. This is Guatemala, and this was not your average vacation. No room service, no cell signal, and definitely no English. I signed up for a medical trip to learn Spanish on the fly, treat patients in remote villages, and somehow teach younger medical students without sounding like a total imposter. We saw families who had walked for hours just to be seen. We worked in makeshift clinics where the medicine was limited, but the impact wasn't. We learned on translators fluent in ancient Mayan dialects because here, language is more than words. It's connection. Also, it turns out diagnosing a rash while sweating through your scrubs in a room with a dirt floor and a very curious chicken is way harder than it looks in the textbooks. But in that discomfort, there was meaning, there was humility, and somehow amidst the chaos, there was joy. This trip reminded me why I chose medicine. Not for the prestige, but for the people, for the stories and the moments that push you and change you. And the tortillas slapped hard. This trip started in Antigua, a city where every cobblestone has a story and probably twisted my ankle. Once the capital of Guatemala, Antigua was a colonial crown jewel until a few too many earthquakes convinced the government to pack up and move the party elsewhere. But what they left behind? Cobblestone streets, pastel churches, volcano views, and enough charm to make you forget your Spanish homework. We spent a week here taking a crash course in Spanish. And by crash course, I mean actual crash. Into grammar, verbs, and a lot of blank stares when we realized embarazada does not mean embarrassed. It was intense, it was hilarious, and it was the perfect kind of chaos. It set the tone for everything that came next. This is us, on the way to Spanish school. And when I say on the way, I mean really on the way. Because in Antigua, that could mean 5 minutes or 45. Why? Well, the traffic here isn't exactly what you'd call predictable. You've got tuk-tuks zigzagging like they're in Fast and Furious Colonial Drift Edition. Cobblestone roads that were clearly not designed for anything invented after the 1800s, and just when you think you're making progress, boom, there's an entire parade of school children running out into the road. But hey, that's just a part of the charm. Between dodging potholes and negotiating right-of-way with horses, you get to enjoy the view. Volcanoes in the background, amazingly colorful buildings, and the occasional chicken bus flying by like it's late to save the world. So yeah, we might be late, but at least we're late in style. Once we get off the bus, which has about an inch of clearance on each side of the road, it's a short walk to school, where we were paired with a teacher who worked with us personally throughout the week. Take a listen to how much of an uphill battle my teacher had to work with.
Sí, sí, sí. ¿Tu familia en la Japón?
No, estudiantes de Japón.
Oh,
cuando visitan
sí,
Guatemala.
sí, sí.
Ujú.
Muchos estudiantes de Globe. Globe?
Sí, del mundo.
Del mundo.
Ujú.
Muchos estudiantes del mundo?
Sí.
Sí.
En Guatemala, de Japón, de Estados Unidos.
¿Dónde
de
está
Canadá.
mejor estudiantes?
As you can tell, I know how to say one word very well, and that word is see. Here, I want to welcome you to Central Park, the place where time slows down, pigeons rule the skies, and jacaranda trees drop purple confetti like it's a year-round fiesta. The square has seen everything: Spanish colonizers in the 18th century, earthquakes, and this is where I got to hang out after class. On one side, you see the Palacio de Capitani Generales, where the Spanish bigwigs used to make bigwig decisions. On the other side, you have marimba bands doing their thing, vendors selling choco bananas, and someone's grandma arguing with a street dog over a bench. It's colorful, full of history, and honestly, it might be one of the best people watching spots in the world. All right, so we're officially at day 2. It's getting better for sure. I can kind of have a conversation with her now, with my teacher. She's so nice. She's so funny. She'll do things, she'll kind of make fun of my English a little bit and make fun of my Spanish, which is great. She does such a good job of teaching me all these things, and they're so supportive of everything. I think they do a really good job of kind of figuring out where you're at and then pushing you just beyond that. It's really cool how they do that, and they're so funny. But I'm actually kind of surprised at how much I've learned. I thought that it was going to be a lot more difficult. I mean, it's difficult. I'm not saying that it's not, but I thought that I was just going to be riding the struggle bus all day, every single day. But I think these teachers do a really good job of meeting you where you're at and figuring out how to help you. And it's kind of old school too. They don't use like translators or anything like that. They just work through the hardness of it and they just figure it out. They don't necessarily repeat the same word and stuff like that, but they will use examples. It's almost like Pictionary. They just use stuff to kind of figure out how to help you and how to get through it. And it's so much fun. Everything is so great here. I mean, just look at this area. I mean, everything is just gorgeous here. The colors are amazing. It's just such a cool place. I'll keep, touching in on, how the school's going. I think on Saturday, we're gonna go hike up a volcano. And then next week we start seeing patients. I'm really excited for that because it's taken me a little bit of time to kind of learn the cultural differences between how we do things in the United States versus how we do things here. That's exactly what I wanted. So this is so great. We basically do this until noon every day, and then we just go explore, have drinks, and meet people in the town. We met someone yesterday who they took us to go do a tour of how they make jade jewelry. And that was so cool. It was all handmade stuff from here in Guatemala. It's just such a unique place, and you would never really know how much fun is here because it's kind of low key, honestly. It really is, but I'm glad that I'm able to kind of step out of my shell a little bit and actually start recording out in public a little bit more. I'm starting to care a little bit less about what people are thinking about me, but I'm also, trying to be aware of people who probably don't want to be on camera and things like that. So this is a fun little journey, and we'll keep struggling through Spanish and keep struggling through trying to figure out how to relate this Spanish into medicine and how to translate what I'm trying to say, because I'm also just a student. I don't know nearly anything enough to what I should. So it's just a huge learning curve, and it's so uncomfortable, but it's also so much fun at the same time. So I'm gonna go get some delicious Guatemalan coffee now and get back to getting destroyed by my Spanish teacher. So see y'all soon. We were lucky enough to be here near the Carnival Festival. And as the sun dips behind the volcanoes and the cobblestones cool off, something shifts in Antigua. The quiet charm of the daytime starts to stretch, yawn, and get ready for the night. Shops start closing their wooden doors, but the city's heartbeat just gets louder. Lanterns flicker to life, music spills from hidden courtyards and bars, where every drink comes with a view of a volcano and maybe a little bit of regret the next morning. There's a maramba on one block, salsa on the next, and if you're lucky, a guy with a guitar singing love songs in Spanish that somehow makes you feel things you don't fully understand. This isn't just nightlife. It's a slow glowing magic. Antigua doesn't go to sleep, it just changes costumes. As we search around for a bar to take us in, we eventually find a place who's willing to have us. There is an inherent excitement on this trip for all of us because we have all finished medical school. At the end of this trip, we will be finding out what specialty we are heading into and where we will be going. So it is certainly appropriate to celebrate this awesome achievement. I swear, the drinks hit different here. Maybe it's the altitude, maybe it's the volcanoes, but really, it's the people that you're around here. The locals are amazing. Good shots taste even better when you're surrounded by great souls in an even better place. Even after a couple drinks, walking home in Antigua just feels safe. The streets are calm, the air is cool, and there's something comforting about the quiet buzz of the city at night. But now, it's time to hit the hay. We have an early day tomorrow as we are heading to hike the Pacaya volcano. Late nights lead to early mornings. There's nothing like waking up to the view of the La Merced's Golden Dome, especially after one too many drinks last night. The city's quiet, the sky's just starting to glow, and somehow I feel like the church might be silently judging me, but there's no time to dwell. We've got a volcano to hike. Pacaya is calling, and we have a long drive to get there. About an hour and a half outside of Antigua, winding through tiny towns, coffee farms, and a few questionable road conditions, you'll find yourself staring up at one of Guatemala's most famous natural wonders, Volcan Pacaya. It's an active volcano, which is both awesome and mildly terrifying. Pacaya has erupted more than 20 times since the 1500s, most recently in 2021, and yet somehow it's still one of the most hiked spots in the country. From what I've read about the hike itself, it's not too bad if you've had a good breakfast. You're trekking over old lava fields with views that honestly feel like another planet. And yes, you can roast marshmallows and make a pizza at the top. But more than the views, the heat, or the occasional mini explosion, it's the feeling, standing on something that is alive beneath your feet. But for that, we'll have to wait for the next episode. Don't go far. There's more of Guatemala coming up, including a trip to Lake Atitlan and starting to take care of patients. Hit subscribe, stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next one.